how did you bring it up with your partner?
I think you are BTO material.
My mother said she
My
like
mother said you can.
My mother said you can.
Hey, actually, since we are doing quite well, do you want to BTO?
You ask him, ah.
Yeah.
We love a
I'm
woman
making
in
the first
charge.
move.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Hot Pot where we hop into different transitions in life. I'm Nick.
I'm Joey.
I'm Q, and joining us today are Joy and Amanda.
Yay!
Hi, I'm Joy, and I work as a creative in a local company.
Hi, I'm Amanda, and I'm also a marketing executive at a local company.
I love that. So you guys are here because today's topic, it might seem complex to some, but it is unique to young adults in Singapore, and that is home ownership and how we can afford a home in Singapore.
Wow, I feel very passionate about this topic. It's like
Because
a
you're a
hobby.
homeowner.
You are set up right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I just go on to just look at listings for fun. That's my hobby. I doom scroll property
I
listings.
love that. I love that. Okay, so to start off, Joy and Amanda, can you guys share how young you guys are and which part of the home ownership process you are part of right now?
I'm 25, and I've paid my deposit, I've booked my flat, and all that's standing between me and my new home is a good 3 years.
Wow.
3 years very fast.
That's not bad. That's not
3 years
bad. Yeah.
it's very fast.
I just applied, so still in the process of reviewing my application. So hopefully we'll hear some good news soon.
Fingers crossed.
Can one. The
Believe.
BTO gods will be with you.
Okay, so for viewers who are not so familiar with the housing system in Singapore, let's set some context. So there are 3 types of public housing options. The first one is BTO, which is built to order, which are brand new flats that you can buy directly from HDB.
And then we have SBF, which is the sale of balance flats, which are balance flats from earlier BTO sales launches, surplus selective on block redevelopment schemes, which is SERS, or repurchase flats, which you can directly buy from HDB.
And then last but not least, we of course have your resale flats as well, which are HDB flats sold by current owners instead of directly from HDB.
So what do you guys know about all these options when you were doing your research?
From my own knowledge, BTO is more affordable than resale. So that was one of the factors when I was choosing a flat.
And you didn't mind waiting a bit so that trade-off is okay.
Yeah.
So for those who are not familiar with the process, right, for BTOs, you submit your flat application during BTO sales periods and sales launches. Then you will wait for a ballot result. So it's to make sure that everybody has a fair chance, right? And then of course there are different priority schemes in terms of if you are a first timer, you get a higher chance of being allocated a flat. But then there are also people who are I don't want to wait. Then they will they are willing to pay a bit more, and they don't mind buying over an older flat. Then they'll go for your resale flats.
Nick, did you consider getting a BTO back then?
I did but then I think I'd be kanchiong to move into my own place. So I didn't.
He wants the freedom.
Yeah, but I quite like staying in HDB flats because I grew up in HDB most of my childhood. Then really got a community.
Kampong spirit.
Yeah, really.
You can see your neighbor open letterbox.
Yeah.
Like,
Then
hello.
when you take the lift together, you will say hi and things like that.
You don't say hi to your
Sometimes.
neighbors now?
No, now I don't take leave.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, that's right. So to join Amanda, you guys are relatively young. How did you guys decide to get a flat so early? Is it because you already know that you want to get married to your partner? What were the deciding factors for you?
Yeah, so it means before you graduate, you already start planning.
So for me, my mom actually first brought it up to me quite recently. And I think that kind of inspired me to have a think about how serious my relationship actually is and how it's going in a really good direction. So given that, we are still quite young and we can afford to wait, we decided to make that first step as a big commitment towards our relationship.
You got the mum stamp of approval there.
Yeah, so
right?
sweet. Wait, so after your mom brought it up with you, how did you bring it up with your partner?
I think you are BTO material.
My mother said she
My
like you.
mother said you can.
My mother said you can.
Yeah. So actually for him, I already knew when I first met him that he wanted to move out of his place to live with his friends, housemates.
Oh.
But that was before he met me . And after we met, we did talk about, one day getting a place together. So it was quite a natural, hey, actually, since we are doing quite well, do you want to BTO?
You ask him,
Yeah.
We love a
I'm
woman
making the
in
first
charge.
move. Yeah, so my boyfriend and I were just looking through the current cycle and we found the location which is the Bedok or the East area.
Same.
Where you got Bedok?
Same, yes.
Oh,
Neighbor.
East side.
I love
East
it.
side, best
East side,
side.
definitely.
I'm
Not
a
even east
strong
side, but yeah
believer
lah,
in
yeah.
that.
So much
like-
love, then your heart like bedok, 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 bedok.
Wow.
Wait, but this is so funny. This is like the Singaporean's mother like stamp of approval.
Yeah.
When you bring
Yeah.
someone home, right? She's like, okay, so when you
I
gonna
think y'all
BTO?
can BTO.
Yeah, that is an indirect way of saying like, okay,
You have my
done.
blessing.
Correct.
yeah.
Or maybe
didn't
she
even
just wants
ask.
you to move out.
Can I ask you and your boyfriend, how long did your date before you BTO?
Slightly over a year only.
Wow.
Yeah, so quite short. But I think my mom think like, okay, very different from all the guys that she did before.
Oh,
So
he's a
very
good boy,
stable,
is
very
it?
stable, very good boy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
When you know, you know.
Yeah, mom's insight is always correct one. The
Mama has
foresight, yeah.
foresight. So I think the decision to buy a house says more about the stage of your relationship rather than your age. Because I mean, I think most people would take buying a house as a sign of commitment, right? And I don't think most people take that lightly. So that would mean you're in quite a stable stage in your relationship. So that was my fiance and I. We were very stable, and also we from the start we were quite aligned with what we wanted in life. So naturally we'll start planning for the next few stages, which includes buying a house. Yeah, and also the location was very ideal for us. Like the Bedok.
Yes.
Yeah, it's so ideal because both our parents also stay like just a stone's like throw away from this plot of land. So for us, we want them close. Yeah,
Your flat good or not?
good. The location really, I mean, to me, unbeatable, the best in the world. Like,
Wow.
Best in the world is crazy.
Bedok is the best in the world.
yes, there's Bedok 85. There's so many food
Near MRT?
near MRT,
Near bus station,
near
bus
bus
stop?
bus stop right in front.
Wow, okay.
Got
pass.
Uniqlo?
Bedok Mall has Uniqlo.
Damn.
Wow. This is Marco. This is a true Singaporean conversation. Got airism? Okay.
So actually, okay, same question, right? You and your boyfriend, fiance.
Fiance.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Trust the ring.
Wow. So you and your fiance, how long were you dating or together before you started planning for
Right.
like your home?
Actually, before this BTO, we did try for one SBF. So that was about 1 year into our relationship. It was also quite a, if we get it, it's really like God's will kind of thing because we were up against like 80 other couples for that one SBF flat.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Then your BTO first, then he proposed, or he proposed first, then your BTO?
We BTO'd first. I know Singapore is so unromantic, right? Like, yeah, but he made up for it with an amazing proposal.
And the ring very big lah.
And the ring.
Your hand was a
Yeah.
bit heavy, ah. Aiyo.
Wait, you're not engaged yet, right?
No, but hopefully soon. My
Wow.
boyfriend, if you're
Shout
watching
out.
this,
He better be watching this.
This is your future, eh? Like BTO already. Then after that,
yeah.
What considerations do you guys have in mind when looking for your ideal home?
I think similar to Joy, it's also location, being close to like family. And it's also a neighborhood that we both really like. It's in the east. And I think lastly is the size of the flat. So I hope that the HDB will be my forever home, my first home and my forever home. And if in the future I decide to expand into a family, then at least like my dream home would be able to accommodate for that. Yeah.
do you all want kids?
Leaving that open for
Oh,
now.
okay,
Leaving it
okay.
open
Undecided
for now.
lah.
Undecided, yeah.
Joy?
Same. Not in the near future, but somewhere down the line.
So can you imagine yourself starting a family in this house?
Yeah, we got a 5-room flat, so there is definitely room for a few future expansion of our family if we ever want to.
Like 4 or 5 kids?
Well, that's a lot.
In
Whoa,
this
whoa.
economy, sir,
Whoa.
that's not possible.
That number scared me.
Yeah. 4 or 5 is whoa.
For Joy and Amanda, how do you guys decide on a BTO over a resale flat?
I think for us it was very much a financial consideration because on average like resale now is maybe 700 to 800 according to my friends. I mean they've just bought resale and we feel like we can afford to wait, so why not just go for BTO? And then also the location is unbeatable, so I think that was really what pushed us to apply for BTO.
Best in the world,
Best in the world.
In the world. By according to her lah.
Amanda agrees.
Yeah, actually, I think quite similar. Everything you said, like whether it's like finances or location, convenience. Another push factor was also because the BTO is newer, it's easier for me to renovate it into the style and the design that I like lah. Yeah.
I think the other thing also is because like BTOs, they now have like a white flat option. So you can kind of choose like, oh, I want an open concept, I want like the closed concept.
It's like Sims, you know.
Yeah, so when you get the keys, right, it's already like the blank canvas that you want. So you don't have to do as much when you're renovating, which means you actually save on renovation cost also.
Yeah.
Most of like the places that I have had to renovate, we had to gut the entire place and then you redo the wiring and the plumbing, right? Well, it really racks up a lot of like
Very
extra
costly.
cost. Yeah.
And time. It takes so much time to hack.
Yeah.
Then you need to apologize to your neighbors.
Yeah. Must buy things, I know.
Extra cost.
Sorry, I renovated.
This is like Animal Crossing. You can choose your island layout before you start.
Yeah. Rather than inherit somebody else's island, then you must redo. You know.
But some people also like the idea of going to a new space, like a brand new space instead of taking over someone's old house.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yeah.
But personally, right, I just gotta say, if I ever meet someone and we wanna live in a HDB, right, I don't mind resale. I think cause no time.
No time to waste.
Yeah.
We different
Different age.
generation
Yeah,
already.
different generation because like I'm 30 next year, so to me it's like I wouldn't wanna wait too long, and resale might be a better option for me.
I don't know if you all feel this way, right? But some of my friends also said they don't mind the wait time because they are also a bit younger, like y'all. And then I think that wait time, right, gives them a bit of time to get their finances in order also.
Yeah.
Whereas compared to like if resale is like now you must have the money, one shot.
Exactly.
Whereas now you know like, okay, the house is this amount. I have 4 years, so I got this amount of time to save this amount of money.
Yeah.
So you have like a bit of a
gauge.
goal and a target
Yeah.
and an estimate also.
You grow towards that goal lah.
So it's not so reactionary lah when you are purchasing
Yes.
your house.
Speaking of resale flats, right? I always had this like impression that resale flats were super expensive, like they're $1 million flats, but they're not all $1 million. My friends are about to get married soon, and they are now shopping for a resale flat. And just nice, right? The flats that they were viewing, they were actually designed by IDs themselves. So the couples are designers, and the house is so pretty. And they actually put it in offer like lower than the others. But the couple chose my friends because they felt like they really went well with the home. So sometimes I think it's important to shoot your shot, go and view the place, like speak to the couple, because they really connected. And I think it was like almost 10 to 20K less, but they decided to go with my friends. Yeah.
I think the other thing as well, talking about like the perception of expensive resale flats and like the whole $1 million flats, right? Statistically, these actually make up a very small percentage of like resale flats in Singapore. Depending on the size, location, how long is left on the lease, then you know the ones that you've seen like 700, 800K seem to be the norm for like your 5 to 10-year-old flats, which are a bit bigger lah and in better locations. But then because it always comes out in the news, because it's a big deal when like a HDB is like over $1 million. So that's why people think that expensive.
I mean, I believe if you have the patience to find, you confirm can find one for you.
Yeah.
You gotta dig a little bit like in the flea market.
Yeah.
100%.
I know this for a fact because my doom scrolling, I see a lot.
The expert.
Yeah, very few, like million plus.
Yeah, we actually have a stat here. So it says that more than 9 in 10 resale flats were sold for under $1 million.
So since you're talking about cost, right? How much are you guys willing to spend on your house?
I think how much I'm willing to spend on my house is tied to what I'm earning now, because both of us have been working for very long, so definitely not $1 million. Can't afford those $1 million flats. We went for a 5-room flat that's around 600K. So we actually had to go for a slightly lower floor because we felt that we still wanted to go for a 5-room flat, so we had to pay a slight premium for it. But honestly, higher floor doesn't always mean better, because the higher you climb, the more expensive it gets. And then if it's out of your price range, and it reaches a level where the marginal utility just diminishes and it's not worth the extra breeze anymore, you know? Yeah.
For us, the one that we applied for, there were only up to 4-room flats available. So I think for us, it will be about 500 to 600 also in that range lah.
No, I think it's quite good. Like if you like just started working only and you graduated not too long ago, but then you can go and like purchase a 500-600K flat. That's quite good. What?
No, I think like because like for me especially, like because they took your 1 year, like your income statement for the past 1 year, right? My boyfriend just started working and I just graduated. So technically like we got a lot of grants. Yeah. We also use like the budget calculator that was available. So we just like playing with the numbers, seeing them, we're like, okay, actually like it's really very affordable, especially if you have 2 incomes.
I was quite amazed. Like the HDB website got a calculator to help you calculate how much you
Everything.
need to pay. And then like this step you need to pay this amount, this step you need to pay this amount. If you put your salary in there, then like
Yeah.
how much can you afford? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's easy for beginners and
Yeah,
people who are
they
not
even
very
tell you
aware
how
lah.
much loan you can take
yes,
and all
yes.
that. Yeah.
Question
part.
All
Okay,
right.
come.
Joy, you go first.
Get a free vacation every year to anywhere you want, or never have to pay for food again.
Wow.
Easy, never have to pay for food again.
Yeah. Because they never say what food.
Exactly.
You can like Michelin star every meal.
If your bomb shelter doubled as a secret portal, where would you choose for it to
exciting.
take you?
I would choose my master bedroom.
You can choose Japan. You choose master bedroom. You can just walk.
Then I don't need to hack the wall, ma.
You can go to space.
You got
Then
no oxygen.
how to
sis.
come back?
Honestly, a convenient place is work.
What if you change job? Then you keep going back to your old place.
Oh shit, yeah.
Okay, I think for me it will be Europe.
Okay.
But where?
Eiffel Tower, level 5 to the left.
Pizza crust, thin, stuffed, or classic? No, it was cause it was. Yeah. it's cause the producer write like that.
But your eyes damn big
I think classic.
You can only keep one room in your house perfectly clean. The other rooms dirty and dusty. Which room are you picking? Obviously my bedroom.
Then the toilet dirty.
Dusty, yeah.
There's nothing worse than a dusty toilet.
But you spend 5 minutes in a toilet, you spend like 3
Correct.
hours.
There's nothing worse than a dusty
No,
toilet.
and-
Nothing.
As in like dirty toilet in a house is.
I can hover over the seat for 5 minutes, can?
But your bed dusty cannot, right?
Yeah, my bed cannot be
Yeah lah,
dusty.
true,
I got
true,
hives,
true,
I got
true,
hives.
Would you rather a world without having to pay for public transport or a life without having to queue? Life without having to queue. No, imagine you go airport, priority line, you don't need to queue.
When the airplane stops, then everyone stand up. Then you don't need
Don't
to
need to
queue.
queue. You can get a BTO without queuing.
Oh, you're straight away number one.
Ticket master, I'm first in line.
Oh,
Wow, okay lah,
Taylor
don't need
You
to
Swift.
can earn a lot of money from that. People
No
pay.
lah, I just want to see Taylor Swift. Man. So speaking of money, can you afford a home if you don't have much savings?
Your savings game strong or not?
Actually, we started saving for the house even before we applied because we knew that this was something we were working towards. In uni, my fiance interned for like two years straight while studying to get that extra income.
Wow.
While studying.
Yeah, while studying. Yeah.
What a
hustler,
green
hustler.
flag, huh?
Yes. Yeah, and then as much as possible, I tried to take on as many side gigs as I could and survive on 290 chai fan at work.
290 cai fan is what? Can you like, what dish you order?
It's very
you
good,
get?
okay. You get 1 tofu, 1 veg, 1 meat, 290.
Oh, that's not
290?
bad.
That's
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 not bad.
crazy. I've never seen 290
Bukit
food
Merah,
ever.
everybody.
That's why.
Wow.
Besides saving before we applied, we also sat down and then we projected our like 5, 10, 20 year like salary and net worth and then to make sure that, okay, this is what we can afford. Okay, apply.
Perked.
Yeah.
The look of approval was
The right way to
very,
live your
very
life.
obvious.
I'm 100% bought into
Oh,
this.
thank you.
Yeah.
I only started really like building my savings like maybe 1 year ago. For my boyfriend, he started working earlier than me, so he has a bit more lah. Yeah.
But a lot of people think that you need to have a lot of savings to afford.
Buy a house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But is it true?
Actually, like, I feel that the system is quite a solid formula. Cause, right, at this stage now, then the other things to consider will be wedding, then renovation, and then your house lah when it comes. So actually, like, the fact that you have a 4-year runway to like save for the house, then the time in between you can settle your like wedding and all that also. So that it's not all like
One shot.
Yeah.
at one shot.
Yeah, upfront.
Yeah. So I feel like the savings actually is also not just for the house, but it's for like everything else.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
I just want to say I'm so glad I'm not planning a wedding and a renovation at the same time because that would be so financially taxing, right? So kudos to all of you who do that.
You going to wedding first or get
Wedding
your,
first.
Wedding first.
Wedding first.
Then you get a
Then
house.
house, yes.
Then renovate.
Yes.
Yeah.
For the guy, got one extra cost. Must buy the ring.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Okay lah, ring don't need to be so expensive. Yeah.
Not for me though.
I was gonna say, not everyone. Yeah, I love it.
Must be this
She
size.
own it. She own it.
Yeah, correct. So actually, HDB is making housing more affordable for first-time buyers through a bunch of different things like loans and grants. So for new flats, like Joy, she and her fiance are eligible first-time buyers, and they can actually receive up to $120,000 in enhanced CPF housing grants.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really quite good. And I must say that actually aside from the option fee, we actually didn't fork out a single cent in cash because of the grants and also we use our CPF to offset the down payment. So okay lah, CPF is kind of my own money, but out of sight, out of mind. So yeah.
I think the other thing that's quite helpful also is the deferred income assessment, because a lot of people that apply for BTOs very young, right? Just started working. So when you take your salary and you go and apply for a loan, then they will tell you how much money you can loan based on your salary, right? So if you just started working, then if your pay is not as high, then obviously you might be thinking, oh, I cannot take that much loan. But what HDB is offering is a deferred income assessment, like before you collect your flat. So presumably when they do assess your income in 3 to 4 years' time, then you will be earning a higher salary and eligible for a larger loan.
For those of you watching who are like, oh my god, how do I find out what grants I'm eligible for? Like, honestly, it's a little bit overwhelming. You can apply for the HDB flat eligibility letter to see your eligibility for the loans and grants based on where you live, maybe where your parents live, and your income.
Quite straightforward one.
Another option to make housing a bit more affordable is housing loans, where you can apply for HDB housing loan or take a loan from the bank.
But I think the main takeaway also is that you must spend within your means.
All right, and lastly, for savings, you can also use some of your savings or cash to offset the payment for the flat if required.
Which is great because actually based on the purchase price or the average purchase price of most HDBs, right, you won't really need to fork out much cash, assuming you're holding like a steady full-time job. So for like my first home, which was a HDB, I like did not feel any cash like going out each month because my mortgage was mostly being serviced by my CPF.
So Amanda, you recently applied for your 4-room in October. What was the process like?
So my boyfriend and I applied for the HFE letter online, and when we got back the results, we were looking through like what was available. So initially we were looking at Kallang, but then we realized that it was under like prime, the prime categorization. So we decided to like meet in the middle and we go for a plus one, which landed us like Bedok lah. Yeah.
So they're actually different classifications, is it?
Ever since the October 2024, a very recent BTO exercise, BTO flats are now reclassified into the standard, plus, and prime categories. So standard BTO flats will still make up the bulk of BTO flats in Singapore, but plus and prime flats, or flats that are categorized under plus and prime, there are certain restrictions when it comes to like selling your BTO flat.
Yeah.
So you need to stay in your flat longer. There's a longer minimum occupancy period of 10 years instead of 5 years.
Wow.
The other thing is that for plus and prime, they are flats that have generally more attractive attributes. Can be location and things like that lah. The idea here is that HDB wants more Singaporeans to be able to stay in these sort of like good locations and all that. So not just like if you have a lot of money, then you can stay in a good location, right? But they also don't want people to profiteer off of these flats. So that's why there are those tighter restrictions when it comes to selling.
I think that aside, we have to manage our expectations when it comes to buying a home, right? Like 3-room versus 4-room or 5-room. I think you don't buy into the glamour of, getting a bigger house just for the sake of it, but evaluate what you can spend on and don't do it just for the sake of flexing. You know what I mean? Especially if, let's say, you're someone who don't really want to have a bigger family or have children, then maybe a smaller flat would be enough for you.
Then you can go Japan every year.
That's my goal.
You can shop.
And also on top of that, I have some friends who there's one extra room and they don't know what to do with it, and then it just ends up being like the clutter room.
Oh,
Like they
yeah.
already
The clutter room.
like what room is that? Don't open. Then I'm like, oh, now I want to open it. I want to see what's inside. Then you see boxes, like empty boxes from their like screens or whatever, because
Yeah.
it gives you an excuse to hoard also, right? This is your junk room.
It's an extra storeroom.
Exactly. But that room could be used for someone's like nursery. Like it could be put to better use, right?
No, then quite funny. Like I have been to people's house before, right, where they have this room, right? Then it's the only room that's not renovated.
Yes.
So they like ball hard on the renovation, right? Then this one room like look totally
It
different.
looks very raw.
Yeah.
Then still got the old trim
And not like the hipster, like minimalist kind of raw. Like never do.
Then my friends will always ask me, what do you think I should do with the room? Then I'll help them ideate. I'm like,
Maybe
game room, gym room.
Yeah, maybe have a kid.
Okay, to wrap it up, what are some advice or tips you can give to our audience about getting their new flat?
So like what Q said just now about like spending within your means, right? Like that's very, very important, especially if you're young and, still getting used to work, because it's also quite a serious financial commitment. So definitely you need to be ready for that. Yeah, and I also think that you need to know your timeline pretty well. Because for me, I almost missed my application by like 1-2 days. So
Means what? Forgot to apply.
yeah. Then I just
Actually
like-
takes like 10 minutes or something like that, right?
yeah, because you're trying to apply on the phone.
Then you
Yeah.
are
Very
not
difficult
user-friendly.
lah. Very
This is a
difficult just on laptop.
desktop laptop job, man.
Desktop activity.
Yeah.
This is a desktop
Yeah, yeah,
activity.
So know when to apply also, and make sure that if you are looking for certain developments, then lock in your dates lah. Yeah.
Okay, I have 2 very practical tips. So the first one, before you book your flat, make an Excel sheet of at least 20 to 30 shortlisted units. It might sound a lot, right? But actually, when we went down, by the time it reached our turn, 16 out of 30 units were taken already. You know? And I think you don't want a situation where you shortlist only 10 and then all 10 are gone, then you have to scramble to find one that you like. It's just a lot of unnecessary stress.
Well, that's a very good tip, Because like the last thing you want is to be like reactionary.
Yeah,
Like to
yeah.
make a reactionary choice on the spot. Like,
Correct.
so which flat you want? Then okay lah, this
And then
one.
you regret
Then you go
after
back and you
that.
regret.
Yeah. The second one is join Telegram groups. Somehow or another, right? For every single upcoming BTO project, there's a Telegram group. I'm not sure who's creating it, but if you Google like the project name, I'm sure you can find it. So the amount of information that you have access to in these groups is really quite crazy. It's just like a huge crowdsourcing like platform. And then like for mine, somebody created a whole Excel sheet where he updated in real time the units that got taken every single
Oh
day.
my gosh.
It's crazy.
Wow.
And
Nick
then
would
he,
love this guy.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Nick.
Yeah, actually, it's me. I don't even have a stake in this. I just do it for fun. My hobby.
It's really quite crazy. And then he even calculated the dropout rate for you so you can estimate your chances of like getting a flat, you know.
Shout out.
It's insane. And then after you book a flat, every week without fail, there'll be people who go to the condos and HDB nearby, the construction site, to take photos and update in the group so you can see your house being built through the photos, you know.
Wow.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know who's creating these groups, but shout out to you, man.
Make yourself known.
And the best part is that these Telegram groups, right, after people start moving in, like you collect keys,
Yeah.
right, it will become your group by group.
Correct. Oh my gosh.
Your community.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, like, enjoy the process. It's quite a big milestone in your relationship, right? When you book your flat, remember to take the mandatory HDB photo, hold
my
down
goodness, you
white
have.
envelope. You know, they even put a tripod there for you.
Oh, oh, last time don't have, right?
Is it?
At
Last time you
Toa Payoh?
have.
Yes, at Toa Payoh. There's in front of
Oh
the
my
in front of the photo booth.
Wow.
I love that.
There's a photo booth?
Yes.
Wow, I did not know this.
Thanks so much for watching this episode of The Hot Pot. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Me Listen.
And subscribe to us if you haven't already.
And of course, thanks once again to Joy and Amanda for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you.
And all the best on your home ownership journey.
And maybe with a rock on your finger.
Oh, damn. We must come back, then you can talk about wedding planning.
Okay.
See. And we will see you on the next episode.
Bye.
Wedding first.
Wedding first.
Then you get a
Then
house.
house, yes.
Then renovate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it the same? Or don't know yet?
Oh, me?
Yeah. Oh yeah, because I haven't proposed yet. Sorry, sorry, bro.
Don't stress him.
Poor guy. He's like,
Fingers looking a bit empty.
oh.